here are the ingredients that you'll need. Mushrooms, carrots, garlic. Uncle Scott, would you like to announce this?
That is galangal root.
Galangal roots.
Palm sugar. King oyster mushroom. It's nothing else. It's king oyster mushroom. Limes. You mean to hold your hand when you cross the street too? Kaffir lime leaves.
And that was the stuff we got.
Oh yeah, we have lots of ingredients going on here.
Tofu,
Woohoo!
dark and light chicken, coconut milk, chopped up lemongrass, chicken broth,
Fish sauce.
fish sauce, macadamia oil. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's a garnish.
Garnish, yeah.
And shrimp paste, there's no label.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're adding coconut milk. Thing to know about coconut milk, often it congeals in one end of the can. So the can will only be designed to be opened from one end. You should open it from that end. Good coconut milk will also contain something that is congealed. If you open it, it's all runny. It's not good coconut milk. So about half the liquid for this soup is chicken broth, a little half, maybe a third. You can go heavier on the coconut milk if you like. It makes it richer, makes it also easier to curdle it by overcooking it. So we've already added the chicken broth. This is about, we're going about 1/3 chicken broth tonight versus coconut milk. All right, the main part of the soup is actually infusing the coconut and chicken stock broth with different flavors. In a lot of ways, it's a curry. Involves a lot of the same ingredients, used a lot of the same ways. And when you infuse a fluid, the finer chopped your ingredients are, the faster they're going to infuse and the less of them you need. And this soup is very much about what you personally like. So here I have some ginger chopped fine and frozen into cubes to make it easy to use. We're gonna either cut this in coins or grate it up. This is the galangal root. These are red jalapenos. A curry is normally named after the color of the hot pepper that gives it its flavor. So red peppers, red curry, yellow peppers, yellow curry. Lime, we're going to add the zest and later the juice, but we're going to add the juice right at the very end because it's acidic and it can make the coconut milk curdle. So it goes in last. Kaffir lime leaves, these add a nice limey flavor just like the lime zest we're going to take off of this. And of course our old friend from Europe, garlic. We all love this. And we're going to infuse the coconut milk for anywhere from half an hour to 2 hours, however long it takes to get the flavor right. Okay, we're going to add the infusion ingredients to our soup. And for ease and speed, I've chopped everything fine. It can go a lot slower. Usually when you see this recipe in a restaurant, you'll get large chunks of things in your bowl that you're not expected to eat. We're going to strain all that out and just infuse the coconut milk and create the flavors and not create the hassle in the bowl at the end. So we have some garlic that I have knife crushed. Again, just nice and easy to pick out after the fact, but helps spread the flavor. Lemongrass that we bought, a processed product that was pre-chopped. This is galangal, coarsely ground. We're going to add that in. And of course our kaffir lime leaves. Some more ginger. We also threw some of that in the pot. And then lime zest. This is a second lime flavor we're going to throw into the pot. And then of course hot peppers. Now for this recipe you can use just about any hot pepper. I picked the red jalapenos because they were available, they're local and they were fresh. And then I quarter cut them so that again they can infuse faster and just be readily pulled out of the fluid when their flavors reach the appropriate level. Something else to know about peppers, the seeds are the hottest part. If you want the peppers heat, keep the seeds. If you don't, toss the seeds. But we want it, so we're going to keep the seeds for these. And all this is going to go in the pot and simmer until our flavors are right. And then we'll move on to the next step. So a short segment on zesting and zesting citrus fruits. This is something a lot of folks don't do. When you get your fresh citrus, look for one that has a nice complete rind with no blemishes or scars. This pattern is caused by where the sun actually hits the fruit. So it's not horrible, but this dark green is nice. And then when you zest your fruit, make sure that you don't do this. You can see how you've entered the pith. It's bitter. It is not a desirable taste. Whereas if you zest like this, and be more conservative and leave more of it behind, then you get two different qualities of zest. You can see here on our cutting board here, we have one that was deeper cut and one that was a lighter cut. And this is definitely what you're looking for. Another tip is make sure you wash your citrus before you zest them. They cover them with a wax that keeps the flavors from escaping. So a scrubby and some dish soap are good to wash your citrus before you zest them.
You want to show us a couple little zesting little zests?
Oh, well, so there are different zesters. This is more common in like a commercial kitchen, or they buy their zest more often. But it's just a little sanding tool. It's a little grater on a stick.
How much pressure would you say? Like how much pressure if I was doing it for the
Just
first time?
enough to keep it from going sideways and cutting my hands. You can see how it wants to travel as you go.
Nice, thank you, Scott.
It's been a long time.
So here I am, and I'm gonna cut up the king oyster mushroom from the tonka soup. I'm gonna cut them kind of thin here,
Why are you gonna cut those thin?
so that they cook evenly and they're spoon-sized pieces.
What are these called again?
They're called king mushrooms.
Ooh, I love them. Let's see the whole shape.
So I'm gonna cut these into little circles first,
Mushrooms, so regular, cremini,
And then-
cut them however you want.
and then I'm going to. Ooh, they get kind of a little more tender towards the top. I'm going to butter saute these in a pan until they're tender.
All right, so I'm cutting up the chicken to poach later. We could poach the whole pieces and cut them, but they infuse more flavor if you cut them and poach them individually as little bits. And by poaching, I just mean bringing the chicken to cooked in a fluid that is not quite boiling. We have white meat chicken, and we have some mostly deboned thighs. There's a little piece of bone there we'll have to get. But we're going to add these into the fluid once it's been strained and ready to poach the chicken. Large pieces you tend to see
What's the bias?
at an angle.
Okay.
At an angle like this. And this is much easier to do with chicken that is still half frozen. Not frozen, not thawed, but somewhere in between. The fresh chicken has a little more give. It's a little easier, a little hard to do, but you get these nice pieces, nice thin pieces. When you buy it, there are a couple of grades you can buy, anywhere from firm to soft to extra firm, all claiming their own thing. You get to know your brand. This is a brand from up in Tacoma. They make locally. It is made from soybeans. It is fermented bean curd. And quite usually it's a little fluid, so what you do before you use it is you press it, wrap it up in something absorbent, and you just try and squeeze the fluid out of it.
How much pressure are you putting on there, you think?
Just enough to squeeze it but not misshape it. I don't want to break it. It's pretty easy to break.
Oh,
As you
perfect.
can see, it breaks pretty easy. Not everyone likes it. Tofu's a thing. But press your tofu, especially if you want to fry it, get that extra water out of it.
So what are you doing right now?
We are straining the coconut milk chicken broth infusion to remove all the solids. Normally in a restaurant you get these in the bowl, bits of lemongrass, bits of pepper, bits of lime leaf, bits of galangal, and you're expected just to throw them out. But we used all bits of ground stuff, so we're sorting that out so that we have a nice broth to poach our chicken in. So we have infused our sauce to the satisfaction of the 3 chefs present. And now we are going to poach our chicken. We've poured off the sauce and strained out the solids. And we're just going to poach the meat, which we're going to keep in there by keeping it below boiling. And when the chicken is cooked, we are 90% of the way done.
How do we know when the chicken is cooked?
That is a classic question asked of many chefs. People will give you time numbers, but a real chef will just look at you and say when it's cooked.
But how would you tell? What would be the characteristics?
When you are ready to eat it. This is the problem with chefs. They don't like directions.
So this is pink. Would you say that would be more white?
Yeah, it'll be solid white by the time it's cooked, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott.